Welcome back to Shropshire Business Live TV. Well, it's now time to welcome our first Ask the Expert of our new series. Not only that, but a brand new expert as well. Big welcome to Chris Jones from Reclaimed Tax UK in Shrewsbury. Chris, many people will know you in wearing different hats in the county, won't they, over the years you've been here? But tell us a bit about your specific role now.
So at the moment I run a company called Reclaimed Tax UK. We've got two offices, one based in Shrewsbury over on Battlefield Industrial Estate. We opened at the beginning of the turn of the year a new office over in Chirk as well to serve our Welsh clients over the border. My current role, so I'm managing director of that business. We've got 16 staff and essentially we help businesses, small, medium, large businesses, claim back various tax reliefs from research and development tax relief, capital allowance tax relief, as well as the patent box and remediation of contaminated land. So we've made a significant impact in helping businesses over the past 2 years. We're currently at around about 200 clients in the Shropshire area, and we're growing nicely over in Wales as well, with around about 70 in that area as well. So lots of businesses to still help, I'm sure.
And how much of the work that you do with these businesses is to help them claim back money that they didn't even know they were entitled to claim back?
To be honest, around about 80% of all clients that we talk to genuinely didn't think that the tax reliefs that we discussed with them would be applicable to them. A lot of people often have a perception around certain tax reliefs that it doesn't apply to them, it's for bigger businesses, etc., etc. One of the things we always stress to them is it's not a simple accounting exercise, therefore most accountants don't carry out the 4 tax reliefs that we offer, purely because you need to go a little bit further below the projects that the company's actually being part of. So it's not just a straight accounting exercise. You need to understand more about the business, you need to understand about the projects that they've been involved with, and ultimately you need to understand the kind of technical challenges that they face. That's why most businesses don't think it's something that they think it's only for the likes of pharmaceutical businesses. I hate the terminology men in white lab coats, but that is the perception most people see when they hear of research and development, and it's, well, unfortunately it is the wrong one. But as I say, part of our role is trying to educate people that these are available to them. Lots of businesses are taking advantage of them, and obviously we'd welcome that discussion with any business to see if it is something they could benefit from.
I guess that given what everybody's been through in the past 18 months or so, the role of research and development needing to evolve and try something different and experiment and go in a different direction is higher up the agenda than it's ever been, isn't it? So does that mean there's more companies than ever that ought to be looking at this?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things the pandemic's taught most businesses that you need to pivot and change the way that you do things, ultimately innovate, change, as I say, change business models in some regards. So any time there's been any challenge that the business has faced, so certainly any kind of business that's on the upward trajectory, that's a growing business, or even those which, like we say, during a pandemic have had to change the way they do things, ultimately they'll be taking risks. And potentially with those risks there might be some tax relief at the end of it that they can enjoy for, as I say, attempting to overcome those technical challenges.
So what sort of amounts can companies claim? I mean, if you take Shropshire as an example, sort of how much money have you been able to claim back for businesses?
Shropshire as an area, we've generated around about £10 million worth of tax relief into that area. Earlier today I was over at our Chirk office, which opened, as I say, in January, meeting the leader of Wrexham Council and the local mayor to celebrate a milestone that we've just generated £1 million worth of tax relief for that area over there. But for Shropshire, we're currently at 10 million and rising, and as I say, that is something that we're very, very proud of, because one of the upshots of generating that cash back into the region is that it will create jobs. Those businesses that have got that income coming back in will recruit more people, they will attempt to do more things and grow their businesses, and ultimately us as residents of Shropshire, we all benefit from that. A prosperous economy is something that we all want, and as I say, we're proud of the small part we play in helping facilitate that as well.
How do you go about then connecting with businesses to start the debate off with them about, you know, whether you can help them out?
A lot of our business comes from referral, word of mouth, and we partner with lots of other providers, financial houses and people like that helping to work. Obviously we will use things like LinkedIn, and ultimately by visiting events. Obviously that's not been possible in the last 12 months. However,
It's starting to happen again though, isn't it?
it is, and we exhibited at our first event since the pandemic last week in Coventry at the Offsite Expo, which was fantastic, and there are great numbers going through the door there, and it's going to be good that we're getting out there and doing more of that. But as I say, part of what we're trying to do and what we will be doing moving forward is putting on more seminars so people actually understand a little bit more about how these things work, and not only that, why they are applicable to them, and if it isn't something they've explored for a no obligation conversation, they might as well spend 15 minutes, 20 minutes of their time to actually explore that to see if it's relevant to them.
And over the course of the next few shows, then hopefully we'll be dipping into some of these issues in a bit more detail, and hopefully popping in and seeing some of the events that you're involved in as well.
That'd be great.
But if there's 2 or 3 takeaways from this chat really then for businesses,
Yep.
if you've piqued their interest and they're starting to think, oh, okay, well, maybe I didn't think this applied to me, but maybe it does.
Yeah.
What do you say to them? What do they do? What's the process?
I mean, if a business is a corporation tax-paying entity, so limited company essentially, and they have faced challenges within the past 2 years, then have a conversation. As I say, there's nothing ventured, nothing gained is the old saying. However, as I say, it costs nothing to actually just find out whether or not it's something that's applicable to you or not. One of the things I would always say to people is don't disregard it without finding out. There's many stories I could tell you of clients which have carried out very viable projects which unfortunately they've missed the boat of claiming because it's too far back.
I was going to ask you that. What's the limit? How far back
So
can you go?
when we're talking about research and development, you can go back 2 closed accounting periods. So essentially you can be talking to a business depending on what stage they're at within their current financial year. You could be talking up to nearly 3 years ago, some of the projects starting, but essentially we'll be looking for projects that fall in that. And one of the major things with that as well is it's not just a one-off. So if you continue to try and innovate, which most of these businesses do once they've had a successful claim, it's going to be for things that they thought are just the day-to-day work that they're carrying out. Now you can keep making those future claims as well each time you've got an accounting period that closes. Yes, there is legislation. Yes, there is certain guidelines. However, as I say, if you meet them, there's nothing to stop you from claiming annually, which is important.
I imagine one of the things you enjoy the most about your job is the looks on people's faces of delight when the light bulb goes on and they realise that yes, they can qualify and yes, something's coming back to them, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. That genuinely is one of the, and we've got some fantastic stories of local businesses, some that have been on the brink of going under, and the cash injection has pretty much saved the business. Some which has allowed them to go and create 10 to 15 new jobs, and the list goes on, and it really is the best part of the job. And all of our team thoroughly enjoy what we do, like you say, because a lot of the time we're talking to forward-thinking, innovative businesses, but the impact that you can see beyond their claims, that's the most pleasing when you see what they've invested that money in, and as I say, what they've done as a result of receiving that tax relief, which is what it's there for. And HMRC are keen to actually make sure that businesses do actually claim research and development tax relief for one of the reasons that it actually helps stimulate the economy. Now, a business, for argument's sake, if they were to receive £50,000 worth of research and development tax, the government would hope that they would invest that money back into their business, recruit more people, that business will grow, it will pay more corporation tax, it will pay more VAT, etc.
Employ more people, national insurance, so it's coming back to the government, isn't it?
Yeah, so that £1 that they give back is probably typically anywhere between £2.40 and £4.60 in future HMRC revenue. So there's method from in there.
Might have known they wouldn't have been doing it out of their own just benevolence,
no,
wouldn't
absolutely
you?
not.
Well, hopefully we can persuade you to bring maybe some of the companies that you've worked with into the studio just to explain about the benefits that you've brought for them over the next few months.
Yeah, that would be great, and we look forward to that.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to catching up with you again over the next few months. Chris, thank you very much.
Carl.
On the subject, as Chris was talking about there, the pharmaceutical industry and people in lab coats, well, I guess that leads on perfectly to the next guest that Chris has got with him.